The unexpected war. The stars above shone cold and distant. The planet below, covered in deep green forests and silver lakes, seemed peaceful from space. But peace was a lie. Beneath the beauty, a hidden war had begun. A war no human had expected. Liam was a scout, assigned to explore unknown planets for the Earth Alliance. He had trained for years, facing dangers from wild creatures, toxic storms, and hidden traps. But nothing had prepared him for what he found here. It started as a simple mission. His ship, the Whisper, landed near a quiet lake surrounded by tall silver trees. His orders were clear: map the area, collect samples, and return before nightfall. Liam moved carefully through the thick forest. His boots crunched softly over fallen leaves. Strange blue birds flew between the branches, singing songs that sounded almost human. Everything felt peaceful. Then he heard it, a scream, sharp, desperate, and full of fear. Liam froze, every instinct screaming danger. No human should be here. He was alone. He ran toward the sound, heart pounding, through the trees. He reached the edge of the lake. The water was dark, swirling in slow, dangerous circles, and in the middle of it, struggling against the current, was a figure, small, delicate, and drowning. It was a girl, not human. Her skin shimmered pale blue under the sunlight. Her hair floated around her like silver threads. Strange markings glowed faintly on her arms and shoulders. Liam did not think. He dropped his gear and dove into the cold water. The current pulled at him, trying to drag him under. He fought it, kicking hard, reaching for the girl. She struggled weakly, her violet, eyes wide with fear. "I've got you," Liam gasped, wrapping his arm around her. She was lighter than he expected, almost weightless. He pulled her toward the shore, every stroke a battle against the strong current. By the time they reached the bank, Liam was gasping for breath. He dragged her onto the grass and collapsed beside her. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then the girl coughed, water spilling from her lips. She opened her eyes, blinking up at him with a look of pure shock. Liam smiled weakly. "You're safe now," he said, though he was not sure it was true. The girl tried to sit up but winced in pain. Her body shivered violently. Liam pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around her. "Easy," he said. "You're hurt." She said nothing, only watched him with wide, mistrustful eyes. Liam glanced around nervously. The forest had gone silent. Too silent. Something was wrong. He reached for his scanner and checked the readings. Movement. Dozens of signals. "Closing in fast. We have to move," he said, standing and offering his hand to the girl. She hesitated, fear flashing across her face. Liam softened his voice. "Trust me." Slowly, she placed her hand in his. Together, they slipped into the trees, moving as quickly as her weak legs allowed. Behind them, shadows moved. Figures in black armor, carrying strange weapons, searched the lake and forest. Liam ducked behind a fallen tree, pulling the girl down beside him. He watched the soldiers carefully. They were not human. Tall, armored from head to toe, with faces hidden behind dark helmets. They moved with cold precision, searching, hunting. The girl clutched his sleeve tightly, her whole body trembling. "Who are they?" Liam whispered. She shook her head, her eyes pleading with him to stay silent. Liam understood. "Talk. Later. Survive now." He waited until the soldiers passed, then led the girl deeper into the forest, away from the lake, away from the danger. As they moved, Liam's mind raced. Why was she here? Who were the soldiers hunting her? And why did he feel like he had just stepped into a war he didn't even know existed? The deeper they went into the forest, the stranger things became. The trees seemed to whisper as they passed. The ground pulsed faintly with light, and the air grew colder, thicker, as if the planet itself was alive and watching. Finally, they reached a small cave hidden among the roots of an ancient tree. Liam helped the girl inside, then collapsed beside her, exhausted. "You need rest," he said. She looked at him, studying his face carefully. Then, with slow, trembling hands, she drew a small glowing symbol on the dirt between them, a symbol of gratitude. Liam smiled. "You're welcome," he said softly. Outside, the night grew darker and the forest filled with the distant sounds of hunters. Inside the cave, two strangers, human and alien, sat together, connected by a simple act of kindness. Neither of them knew it yet. But saving her would change Liam's life forever, and the war he had stumbled into was only just beginning. A life in his hands, the small cave was cold and damp, but it was safer than the open forest. Liam sat near the entrance listening to the night sounds, the soft rustle of leaves, the distant howls of strange creatures, and the mechanical hum of hunters searching in the darkness. The alien girl slept fitfully beside him, wrapped in his jacket. Even in her sleep she shivered, her body weak and pale. The glowing markings on her skin flickered faintly, like a dying fire. Liam checked his scanner again. The signals were still out there, circling the area. They were searching carefully, methodically. They would not stop. He looked at the girl, worry tightening in his chest. She was injured, exhausted, and somehow, she was still the center of something much bigger than he could understand. He had a choice. He could leave her, try to escape alone, or he could stay and protect her. Liam never even considered the first option. He moved quietly to her side and gently checked her pulse. It was weak but steady. "Hang in there," he whispered. He needed to help her. But how? He had limited supplies, a small medkit, some energy bars, a water filter. Not much for healing an alien being. Liam thought hard, remembering his survival. Training, warmth, hydration, protection. He pulled out a small heating patch from his kit and placed it against her chest, under the jacket. Almost immediately, her shivering eased a little. He opened a water pack and carefully dripped some into her mouth. She coughed weakly but swallowed. Progress. Still, he knew it wasn't enough. As he worked, she stirred, her eyes fluttering open. Violet eyes. Eyes filled with confusion, fear, and a deep, aching sadness. Liam smiled gently. "Hey," he said softly. "You're safe. I won't hurt you." She blinked slowly, trying to focus. Then, to his surprise, she reached up with trembling fingers and touched his face. For a moment, Liam froze. The touch was light as a feather, but it carried a strange warmth, a deep emotion that he couldn't explain. Trust. She was trying to trust him. He covered her hand with his own, feeling how fragile she was. "You're going to be okay," he said, even though he wasn't sure if it was true. The girl closed her eyes again, exhaustion pulling her back into sleep. Liam stayed awake, keeping watch, his senses sharp. Hours passed. Sometime near dawn, the scanner beeped softly. A warning. Movement. Fast. Closing in. Liam's heart raced. He grabbed his gear, gently lifted the girl into his arms and slipped out of the cave, moving as quickly and quietly as he could. The forest was waking up. Strange animals called from the trees and the mist rose thick around the roots. Liam moved through it like a ghost, carrying the girl against his chest. He had no clear plan. Only one thought filled his mind. Protect her. He didn't even know her name, but he knew he would fight for her if he had to. They reached a dry riverbed lined with sharp rocks. Liam slid down carefully, staying low, hiding in the mist. Behind him, faint voices echoed. The hunters were getting closer. Liam's mind raced. He needed shelter. He needed time. Then he saw it. A crack in the cliffside just wide enough for him to squeeze through. He slipped inside. The girl cradled against him. The space beyond was a narrow tunnel, dark and damp, but safe for now. He set her down gently against the wall and caught his breath. He listened. Footsteps passed above, too close. One wrong move, one sound, and they would be found. Liam pressed his back against the wall, heart pounding, barely daring to breathe. The girl stirred, her hand reaching out blindly. Liam caught it gently and squeezed. "I'm here," he whispered. After long minutes, the sounds faded. The hunters moved on, tricked by the mist and silence. Liam slumped in relief. He looked at the girl, who was now watching him with tired, curious eyes. For the first time, she spoke, a single word, soft and broken. "Why?" Liam smiled sadly. "Because you needed me," he said. She stared at him, as if trying to understand a language far older than words. In that moment, something unspoken passed between them. Not just survival, something deeper, something that would change both their lives, forever. Outside, the first light of morning touched the world. Inside the dark tunnel, a human and an alien girl sat together, connected by a bond neither fully understood. Yet, and far above, hidden eyes watched them, eyes that would not allow this bond to grow without a fight. The war had found them, but so had hope. The secret of the silent girl. The morning sun rose slowly over the forest, casting long golden beams through the mist. Liam sat in the shadow of the narrow tunnel, his body sore and tired. Beside him, the alien girl slept lightly, her small form, wrapped in his jacket, her breathing soft but steady. Liam watched her quietly, wondering about the mystery she carried. Who was she? Why was she being hunted? And why did he feel like his life had been tied to hers from the moment he pulled her from the lake? As he sat thinking, she stirred and opened her eyes. For a long moment, they simply looked at each other. No words, no movement. Only the silent understanding between two souls thrown together by fate. Then she moved her hand slowly, tracing a symbol in the dirt. A star, a broken chain, a heart. Liam watched carefully, piecing it together. Freedom, lost family, hope. He spoke gently, not knowing if she would understand. "They took something from you," he said. The girl nodded slowly, her violet eyes shining with sadness. Liam's heart ached for her. He pulled out his scanner and showed her a map of the area. "Where do you need to go?" he asked. The girl pointed, to a mountain range far to the west, beyond the forests and rivers. Liam frowned. It was a long way. Dangerous, wild, filled with creatures and maybe worse. But he saw the determination in her eyes. She needed to get there, and he would help her. Before they could plan further, the ground beneath them rumbled slightly. Liam froze. He pulled the girl close, listening. Distant engines, heavy footsteps. The hunters were back, and this time they were not alone. Strange machines moved with them, floating drones that scanned the ground with blue light, seeking any trace of life. Liam gritted his teeth. They had to move. Now. He helped the girl to her feet, careful of her weakness, and led her deeper into the tunnel. It wound through the rock like a snake, twisting and splitting into narrow paths. Liam chose the darkest passage, moving fast but carefully. The tunnel grew colder, wetter. Small streams of water trickled down the walls. Strange crystals glowed faintly in the darkness, lighting their way. After what felt like hours, they emerged into a hidden valley, lush and green, untouched by the war above. The girl breathed deeply, her body relaxing for the first time. Liam allowed himself a small smile. "Safe for now," he said. They moved through the valley, sticking close to the trees and rocks. As they walked, the girl reached out and gently touched a large stone. The markings on her skin glowed brighter, reacting to the ancient energy trapped in the valley. Liam watched in awe. Who was she, really? He decided to ask carefully. "You're not just running, are you?" he said softly. The girl looked at him, then nodded slowly. She placed her hand over her heart and then pointed to the sky. A message. She carried something important, something hidden inside her, something the hunters wanted to destroy. Liam's mind raced. An heir. A secret weapon. A lost leader. Whatever she was, saving her had dragged him into something far bigger than himself, and he would not abandon her now. They reached a small grove and set up a quick camp. Liam shared a few food, rations with her. She ate slowly, still weak but stronger than before. As they rested, the girl finally spoke again, her voice a soft whisper carried by the wind. "They fear me." Liam leaned closer. "Why?" She closed her eyes, gathering strength. "Because I am the last, the last, the last of her kind, the last hope for her people." Liam felt the weight of her words settle heavily on his heart. He had not just saved a drowning stranger. He had saved the future of an entire race. Outside the hidden valley, the hunters grew more desperate, tearing through the forests in search of their lost prize. But here in this secret place a bond was forming, quiet, strong, and unbreakable. A bond that would be tested by fire and blood in the days to come. Liam tightened his grip on his weapon and looked at the girl beside him. No matter what waited ahead, he would protect her, even if it cost him everything. Betrayal. Under the stars, the hidden valley was peaceful under the night sky. Stars glittered above like a million cold eyes watching silently. The alien girl slept close to the fire, wrapped in a blanket Liam had made from his emergency gear. Her breathing was soft, steady, full of trust. Liam sat by the fire, staring into the flames. His mind raced with questions he had no answers for. How could one girl be the last hope of an entire species? What secret did she carry that made so many hunt her? And how long could he protect her before the world caught up to them? The night was quiet, almost too quiet. Liam shifted uncomfortably, his hand resting on his weapon. Something felt wrong. Before he could act, he heard a soft rustle behind him. He turned quickly, but it was too late. A sharp blow struck the back of his head and darkness swallowed him. When he woke, his hands were tied and the fire had been kicked apart. The girl was gone. Liam struggled against the ropes, fury and fear burning through him. Then he heard a familiar voice. "You should have stayed out of it, Liam." It was Reese, another scout from his own ship. A man he had trusted, a man who had once shared stories and laughter under the same stars. Liam's heart twisted. "Why?" he rasped, his head pounding. Reese stepped out of the shadows, a cold smirk on his face. "Orders," he said simply. "She's a threat. The High Command wants her captured, or erased." Liam stared at him in disbelief. "She's just a girl," he said. "She's not a threat to anyone." Reese laughed bitterly. "You think this is about kindness? About saving one life?" He shook his head. "It's about control. Power. She holds something that could change everything, and that scares the people in charge." Liam clenched his fists. "Where is she?" Reese shrugged. "Being taken to the extraction point. After that, it won't matter." He turned away. Liam's mind raced. He had to act fast. He shifted his weight, feeling the ropes around his wrists loosen slightly. He remembered the small knife hidden in his boot, slipped there in case of emergencies. This was an emergency. While Reese's back was turned, Liam worked the knife free, slicing through the rope silently. He waited. Timing was everything. As Reese moved toward the comm device to call his superiors, Liam struck. He tackled Reese to the ground, the two men struggling fiercely in the dirt. Liam fought with everything he had, not just for himself, but for her, for the girl who had trusted him, for the future she carried. After a brutal fight, Liam pinned Reese down, knocking him unconscious with a final punch. Breathing hard, Liam grabbed his gear and ran. He had no time to lose. Following the faint tracks in the dirt, he moved through the forest like a shadow, his mind focused, his heart pounding. He found them near the old landing site, a small group of soldiers, dragging the alien girl toward a shuttle. She struggled weakly, her strength no match for theirs. Liam didn't wait. He burst from the trees, firing his weapon with deadly aim. The soldiers scattered, caught off guard. Liam reached the girl and cut. "Her bonds quickly! Can you run?" he whispered. She nodded, fear flashing in her violet eyes. They ran together, bullets slicing through the air behind them. The forest became their shield, the darkness their ally. They didn't stop until they reached the cliffs overlooking the hidden valley. Liam pulled her behind a large rock, both of them gasping for breath. He looked at her, seeing the trust still burning in her tired eyes. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice breaking. "I should have protected you better." She reached out and touched his hand lightly, forgiveness in her touch. Above them, the stars shone cold and distant. Below, the hunters regrouped, more determined than ever. The betrayal had shaken Liam deeply, but it had also hardened his resolve. He would not fail her again, no matter what came next, no matter the cost. The unexpected bond. The forest grew thicker as they moved deeper into the valley. Tall silver trees twisted overhead, their leaves glowing faintly under the stars. The world around them seemed to breathe with slow, heavy silence. Liam stayed close, to the alien girl, his senses sharp. Every snap of a branch, every whisper of the wind made him ready to fight. They could not outrun the hunters forever. Liam knew it. She knew it too. After a long, hard climb up a rocky hill, they found shelter, in a hollowed tree hidden from view. Inside, Liam set down his gear carefully. The girl sat beside him, her small body shaking with exhaustion and fear. He looked at her closely. Her markings were glowing again, brighter than before. A soft light pulsed under her skin, like a heartbeat made of stars. Liam reached out carefully. "You're burning up," he said softly. The girl flinched at first, but then, slowly, she touched his hand. And something incredible happened. A warm wave of energy flowed between them, soft but powerful. For a moment, Liam's mind opened wider than ever before. He saw flashes of her memories. Her home, a city of crystal towers floating over blue oceans, now destroyed by war. He saw her people, proud, wise, full of dreams, now hunted, scattered, dying, and he saw her true self, not just a girl, a princess, a protector, the last living bondkeeper of her kind. She carried within her the knowledge, the power, and the soul of her entire race. And now she had chosen him. Liam gasped, pulling his hand back. The connection faded, but the bond remained. The girl looked at him, her violet eyes shimmering with tears. "You are my guardian now," she whispered in broken English. Liam shook his head, overwhelmed. "I'm just a scout," he said. "I'm nobody." She smiled sadly. "You are enough." Outside, the night grew colder. Inside the hollow tree, Liam sat silently, the weight of her trust settling deep into his heart. He was not ready for this, but ready or not, he was the only one she had. They spent the rest of the night huddled together, the warmth of the bond between them stronger than any fire. In the early hours of the morning, the sound of engines roared in the sky above. The hunters were deploying drones. Small, fast machines built to track and kill. Liam knew they would not survive if they stayed hidden. They needed to move, but they also needed strength, and that strength could only come from the bond. He turned to her. "I don't know how to protect you," he admitted, "but I'll try. I swear it." She reached out and placed her hand on his chest, over his heart. Their bond pulsed again. Deeper, stronger. Liam felt something stir inside him, a new strength, not his own but shared. He stood, feeling lighter, faster. She stood beside him, her body glowing softly with the energy of their connection. For the first time, they were not just running, they were ready to fight. As they stepped out of the hollow tree, the first of the drones whirred into sight, its scanner searching. Liam moved without fear. With a sharp throw, he shattered the drone with a broken branch charged by the bond's power. The girl smiled faintly. They were stronger together, stronger than either had ever been alone. Across the valley, more drones approached. Soldiers followed behind. But Liam and the alien girl did not run this time. They stood their ground. The unexpected bond between them had changed everything. Now they would fight not just for survival, but for a future that only they could create. The reward and the cost, the battle, in the valley was fierce and short. Liam and the alien girl fought side by side, their bond guiding every move. He moved faster than ever, dodging blasts, striking down drones and soldiers with a strength that wasn't just his own. She stood with him, her markings glowing like a living shield, deflecting attacks with bursts of pure energy. The enemy didn't know what hit them. Within minutes, the last drone fell, crashing into the trees with a dying spark. Silence returned to the forest, broken only by their heavy breathing. Liam dropped to one knee, exhaustion pulling at his body. The girl knelt beside him, her hand resting on his back, steadying him. They had won for now. But Liam knew it was only a matter of time before more enemies came. He looked at her, searching her face for answers. "What do we do now?" he asked. Before she could reply, the air around them shimmered. A portal opened, soft and glowing like water touched by moonlight. Out of it stepped a group of beings, tall, elegant, and shining with the same light that lived inside the girl, her people, the few who had survived. The leader, a woman with silver hair and golden eyes, stepped forward. She looked at Liam with a gaze that saw everything: his fear, his pain, his loyalty. She spoke in a voice like music. "You have done what many could not. You have protected the last of us." Liam struggled to stand, feeling small under her gaze. I couldn't leave her," he said simply. The leader smiled, a soft, sad smile. "Because of you," she said, "hope lives." She turned to the girl and bowed deeply, a sign of deep respect. Then she turned back to Liam. "You have earned a reward," she said. "You may come with us, live among the stars, beyond war, beyond pain." Liam's heart raced. A chance to leave Earth behind, to escape the endless fighting, to live among beings who carried peace inside them like a song. But there was a cost. "If I go," he said slowly, "I can never return?" The leader nodded. "Your world will forget you. Your past will fade. But you will live free." Liam looked at the girl. She watched him quietly, her violet eyes full of trust. She would not beg him to stay, but he could see the hope flickering inside her. Liam closed his eyes, feeling the weight of his choice. He thought of Earth. The noise, the violence, the endless wars fought for reasons lost to time. He thought of the girl, the way she had reached for him with trust, the way she had fought beside him without fear. His choice was clear. He opened his eyes and smiled. "I'll stay. With her," he said. The leader bowed her head. "Then you are one of us now." The portal widened, wrapping them in soft light. The forest faded away, replaced by a place beyond stars, beyond pain. A place where they could build something new. Together. But as they stepped into the light, Liam felt a sharp pain in his chest. Final goodbye to the world he had known. The reward was real, but the cost was heavy. He had given up everything. Family, friends, a home. But in return, he had gained something rarer than all of it. A future, and a bond that would never break. As the portal closed behind them, the hunters reached the battlefield too late. The forest was empty, their prize was gone. And somewhere beyond the stars, a new story had begun. A story of trust, of courage, of two souls bound together against all odds. New beginnings beyond the stars. The new world was unlike anything Liam had ever seen. Giant crystal towers floated gently in the sky, glowing softly under two golden suns. Rivers of silver light flowed through the fields, and strange plants sang quietly when the wind touched them. This was not Earth. This was a place where pain did not rule, a place of healing, a place of hope. Liam and the alien girl, now called Elira by her people, stood on a high cliff, looking out over the shining valley below. It had been days since they arrived, days of learning a new language, new customs, new ways of living. But Liam still felt the weight of everything he had left behind. Sometimes at night he would dream of Earth, the streets, the faces, the battles. But every morning, he woke to find Elira sitting beside him, smiling gently, reminding him that he was not alone. He was part of something now, something bigger than he had ever imagined. The leaders of Alira's people gathered one evening under the stars. They offered Liam a choice: stay as a guardian, protecting the bond, and helping rebuild their lost culture, or return to a life of silence and peace hidden away from danger. Liam thought about it for a long time. He thought of the battles fought, the trust given, the bond formed in blood and hope. He made his choice. He stood before the council, his voice steady. "I will stay. I will fight for this world." Alira smiled, her eyes shining with pride. Together, they began training, not for war, but for defense, for protection, for survival. Liam learned to move faster, think deeper, feel the energy of the bond that connected all life on this strange world. Alira grew stronger too. The glow of her markings no longer flickered weakly. Now they blazed like living stars whenever she used her gifts. As the days turned to weeks, Liam and Alira became symbols of something new. Humans and aliens living not in fear, but in trust. Hope spread among the survivors like fire, burning away the darkness of the past. But even in this new world, threats remained. Some creatures from the old wars still lurked in the distant mountains. Some whispers of fear still stirred among those who remembered only hate. Liam knew their fight was not truly over, but he also knew they would face it together. One evening, as the twin suns set behind the crystal towers, Liam and Alira stood together on the highest point of the city. Alira placed her hand gently over Liam's heart. "You gave up everything to save me," she said softly. Liam smiled, feeling the bond between them hum like a living thing. "I didn't lose anything," he said. "I found something better." They watched as the stars came out, filling the sky with endless possibilities. A new world, a new future, built not with weapons, but with courage, with loyalty, with trust. As the first new ships rose into the sky, ready to explore the universe, not as conquerors but as friends, Liam knew this was only the beginning. The beginning of a story that would be told across 1,000 worlds. The story of a human who saved a drowning alien girl, and of the bond that changed the stars forever.